Okay, we're in the upstairs attic, and we're tripping all over the gas pipes. We've got two condensing units and two indoor air handlers installed at different times by different folks. Okay, we should have like with the water heaters, there'll be a video coming up. We should have a gutter over this. Okay, a box, a rail, a guard, something protected from pedestrian traffic. Should have that. Okay, this is the downstairs unit. This furnace looks like it's original to the structure. Now, I'd know more about it, okay, if I was to take this cover off, but when I started in a good faith effort, as soon as I put my screwdriver next to that screw and I saw things just barely hanging in, I see how it's boogered up. I figured we had better things to do with my time than me to stay up here, move in up here. So, on the furnace, the original furnace, downstairs furnace, does not have a sediment trap for its gas piping. On the newer install, this furnace does have a sediment trap on its gas piping. Care and use manual for the newer unit, no care and use manual, install manual for the older unit. Moving on to the evaporator coils. Okay, these look like they've been replaced at some point. Let's see if I can read a date on this. 2017, 18, 19, 24, you know, it's probably time for a new evaporator coil, even though the condensing unit's not that old out there, even if it's the older condensing unit. Now, both of these units, this one doesn't have insulation on it, so I can leave it at that. This one does have insulation on it, and on what, bud? Has insulation on what? On the shallow P-trap. Alright? We're not supposed to have shallow P-trap. See that shallow P-trap? Okay, when the air conditioner's running and running and running, and then it drops the water, okay, when it turns off, and all the water drops out of the coils, because you've been raking all the heat out and you collected all that condensation, alright, then it just flushes down here, swoosh, like a yogurt commercial, whoosh, okay, like a roller coaster, last car follows the first. It's, you know, I wish it was self-cleaning, but it is I wish it was self-clearing. Self-clearing, but not self-cleaning. Okay, but anyway, swoosh. Then all the sewer gases. This goes to the sewer. All the sewer gases migrate their way back up in there, hang out in the evaporator coils for a while, checking things out, getting all chummy, starting families. Air conditioner kicks back on. Vroom. Okay, and it starts pumping it out, man. So now we start getting, what do we start getting, bud? Now we start getting all the pathogens and cooties and stuff. They are evenly distributed through your house. You'll never smell it because it'll be so diluted, but that's the theory. That's the reason for having a deep P-trap, not a shallow one. Now this pipe coming up here, that's kind of ironic, but that's a vent pipe to equalize the pressure so it all goes down. And so, yeah, some come up into your attic, but they don't go into your coils. Come over here. Now, look at the position. This is your evaporator coil. This is your P-trap. This is the vent trap. Coming over here, we do not have a clean-out trap. Coming over here, we got insulation, but we still have a shallow P-trap. All right? This pipe is not a vent pipe. I can put my hand on this and feel all this beautiful cold air coming in here, just cooling this attic off for me. We do not have a vent pipe. Well, if that's empty, you know, then you don't need a vent pipe. But you know, it's not supposed to be empty. So we do have a clean out right here. No, that is a safety switch. That is a float switch. So we have a float switch, which is a good thing. But we do not have a vent pipe on the newer system. We have a clean-out pipe. The clean-out pipe is supposed to have a cap on it. We do not have a clean-out pipe over here. We have a vent pipe. The vent pipe is supposed to be open. Open pipe, good on vent. Yay. All right. Open pipe, bad on clean-out. Yay. In a perfect world, we have one on each side of the trap. One for cleaning out and one for venting. Then we've got these valves that have been installed in here so we can service the system. Right, that's nice. You might not have to service it as often if you had a vent pipe, but that's just me. Alright, so now we're going to go to our air filters. You think this one's drawing any air out of the attic? I do. It's drawing a lot of air. You think I'm going to take that off and measure it? No way. It might be a 20 by 25 by 1. Yeah, I don't like those magnet covers. And when people first came out with them, because these things were on the old junk units we used to find in the attics, these things were notorious. And so the sealing the filters was notorious. So that was like the cast me out, the instant fix. That lasted about a week. The son got in here and baked them all, and everybody figured, well, we got to try something else. So they came over here and they started coming up with more. Well, look at that. I guess we're going to have to do the right thing. So we come in here and we got suitcase latches right there, and this is our air filter, and they all made it all more robust. Look at that. Oh, and then I can't get it open. Why? Because they covered it with mastic. They covered it with mastic. You can't even get in there. Even when it's done right. Even when it's done right, it's done wrong. Coming over here, not supposed to have more than ½ inch sag in our air duct. Air duct's not supposed to be touching other air duct. Not supposed to be having more than ½ inch sag in your air duct. Can't get to either filter. Not supposed to have constriction in your runs. Not supposed to be kinking your stuff. No sagging allowed.